I'm going to share something really honest since this is the authenticity circle. And it's just something that I've been really blessed to uncover through a health diagnosis I had 3 years ago. And I've been on this amazing journey and healed. And then through the coaching corners, you've probably heard 2 or 3 months ago, my numbers shot up when I did blood work because I hadn't done blood work in a year and a half. And it really shocked me. I was just like, and it spun me into a deep shift and reflection and making changes. And just to cut to the chase, so you all know I'm okay, I just did blood work again. So within a month, within 30 days, I got my blood work to perfectly normal. And I'll share a little bit about that. But really what blew me away is I just did blood work again because I'm really tracking it to see what is making the change, what spikes the numbers, what lowers the numbers. So I'm sort of my own experiment right now. And my numbers are now below even when I was perfectly healthy, a certain number was always like sort of at the top of the healthy range. Now it's like smack in the middle, like it's just perfect. And I've been using something called the faux filter. I am working with a holistic doctor who's totally changed my diet and cut out certain things that were very toxic for me that I didn't know were toxic, things as simple as potatoes, who knew? And those things have made change. However, there's an energetic to this, and the energetic I'm noticing right now, I'm in Boulder, Colorado, because Jason's visiting his spiritual teacher who I've sat with many times. And I haven't even gone to the ashram because I'm in such a different state. This thing I'm going to share with you, the faux filter, which is something I've been applying, which has totally changed my health over the years. I keep coming back to because every time I veer away from it, I notice that my energy levels change. And what the faux filter is, and I'll get back to the ashram and different bits in a moment. The faux filter is something that downloaded in my brain in the shower on my birthday a couple of years ago, or right around my birthday. And the question I had was, oh my God, I think it was on my birthday 2 years ago. What happens what if this is the best year of my life? What if this is the most joyful, fulfilling year of my life? And I'm in the shower like, whoa, could I have the most joyful year even when the world is in such tumult and such change? Long story short, I heard, well, what would it take to have such a joyful and fulfilling year? And what I immediately heard was anything or anyone that anything you're saying or anything you're doing out of fear, obligation, or expectation, those 3 energies, fear, obligation, or expectation, cut out of your life for this year. This was 2 years ago on my birthday. And I was like, and you will have the most fulfilling, joyous year of your life. And I immediately saw FOE for fear, obligation, expectation, FOE. Faux, that means enemy. I was like, that's interesting. The acronym is faux, it's enemy. Okay, so the way I've been against myself, the way I've been harming my health has been by doing things or saying things out of fear, doing things or saying things out of obligation, doing things or saying things out of expectations, other people's expectations, not agreements we've made, but just their assumptions that I should do a certain thing or act a certain way based on what they want, not based on who I am or my integrity. So for a few months there, I cut out everything that was out of fear, obligation, or expectation. Another word for expectation is guilt. So it could be the fog filter, FOG, if guilt resonates more with you. Long story short, in that period of time, my health just went to a really beautiful place. My numbers were perfect. And I didn't test my blood work after that because I was like, I'm good. A year and a half later, I test my blood work and my numbers had skyrocketed. And I was like, oh God. And I thought about the faux filter because my doctor said, whatever you did between these particular months, I want you to repeat whatever you did in those 2 months. And so I did exactly that. I knew where I was in my life in Black Mountain, North Carolina. I looked at all the things I was eating and doing. But then I remembered the shower episode and the whole fog filter. And I was like, oh my God. I forgot about that and I stopped doing it. And I fell back into people pleasing patterns and overextending myself and fear-based choices. And I wonder if that's affected my health. So long story short, I've returned to this fog filter, this faux filter, and the results are incredible. And my ego is like, you're not allowed to live like this, Veronica. It's selfish. You have to do things for other people and what they expect of you, your family, your this, all these weights that are on you, because that's what a good person does. And you need to be good. And one of my mentors taught me, Veronica, you are not here to be good. You are innately good. You don't have to try for that. You're here to be real. You're here to be real. That's the meaning of your life. And when Steve Seiler, when he said this to me, it just like shattered something. It was like, I'm not here to be a perfect good girl who pleases everybody. What are you talking about? I'm not here to save the world. What do you mean? He's like, you're here to be yourself. Like, it's just, you're here to be you. So in the last 45 days, I've been doing this thing. And long story short, I have not made certain phone calls to family members. I haven't gone to the ashram. I haven't done things that I have done out of other people's expectations, where you're supposed to eat a certain way, you're supposed to do certain things, you're supposed to show up a certain way. Anything that has those kind of expectations on me, I've literally just everyone out, everything out. And I've been in a sort of metamorphosis or an incubator. And it could bring me to tears because what I'm going very deep in meditation and doing a lot of prayer for what's going on in the world, but it's coming out of so much energy and so much flow, and my health being so flawless that I'm like, this works. Why don't we all do this? And I thought to myself, why is my mom feeling okay about herself and me being obligated to make a phone call to her more important than my health? Since when did my Jason's spiritual teacher approving of me become more important than my own dignity and self-respect? Since when did other people's expectations on me mean more, carry more weight than my own needs and my own truth? And it really has hit me. And Jason's like, finally, you're getting it. He's so good at this. And he's a great teacher on this. But many of us empaths, highly sensitives, good people who have been trained to be a certain way, pleasing, there can be guilt when we take radical care of ourselves. But what I have noticed is I have so much more power and energy to give from a really joyful overflow place. And I've really gotten it. I know it mentally, but I'm getting it cellularly, that it's the most generous thing to be so incredibly good to yourself and give people the dignity of their own process. People will judge you. You know, the people at the ashram were like, poor her, she must have like lost herself or whatever. And then I started to realize, oh, wow, like what an ego trip that is. And no longer are other people's opinions like weighing upon me. And it's a very powerful place. I could say for the first time in my life, I feel what it feels like to be a queen, to be that dignified and clear, and that service oriented, where I'm coming from health and overflow rather than martyrdom. And so I share this with you because it's something I'm in process with, and I'm having to like write love letters between my ego, which is like, you're not allowed to do that. That makes you a bad person. You have to please everybody and fill their needs and expectations. And my soul, who is like, sweetheart, we came for this. We came for this level of sovereignty, of embodiment, of health, of vitality. We can't teach something if we're not living it. This is what we're here to be. And so I've come to this beautiful like dialogue and peace between the two, or I'm coming to that sort of peace, because the blood work and the results I'm getting in my life are the validation I've needed to be real versus trying so hard to be in a box of good according to spiritual ideas or parental or authority figures who believe a certain thing that may not be right or true for my soul. So today I really land this question for you. Who are you? Outside of the dynamics of family, politics, authority figures, religion, social constructs. And what does your soul crave? What helps you flourish? And are you open to flourishing at the next level, even if it pisses people off? The final thing I'll say is, I'll make a video on this, but I had a wake-up call with somebody who worked for me. Somebody who thought I was actually, who misread me and who misunderstood me, because what happens is when you shift out of the pleaser or whatever that pattern is for you, people are going to get triggered. And it's a way more elaborate story, so I'm going to have to make a video or write about it. But I understand now why, whatever the limits are that we tend to live in, why so many of us stay to that, because we don't want to be misunderstood by others. Like this particular person totally misread me. Now she understands and she apologized, but it hurt so bad to be taking care of myself and then be misunderstood and be seen as a selfish person by someone I'm being excessively generous to, and costing myself certain things to be generous to this person. So just something to consider, that the discomfort of someone else misunderstanding you or seeing you as not what they want you to be, can that be less important? Can that become less important than your own self-respect and your own vitality, and let your vitality be more important than trying to win someone's approval by being a false you? So I'm speaking to myself here, and if this resonates to anyone, with anyone here. Okay. So thank you for hearing that. That is the start of our authenticity circle. What does your soul crave? What do you truly want? Are you afraid of it because you're afraid of other people's judgments? And if so, that's something we can talk about today. Okay. So Ruth, it is so